You do absolutely everything right. You are attentive, faithful, and generous with your time. You answer every text within seconds, eliminating all doubt. Yet, you watch the spark in her eyes fade away day by day. Meanwhile, a man who barely makes an effort occupies her thoughts entirely. It feels deeply unjust. It feels like a broken promise. But this is not a twist of cruel fate. It is raw biology. Look around the digital landscape, and you will see a massive wave of bitterness. I recently read a comment from a viewer named Bob, who bitterly claimed that this is simply the law of the Chads, that if you do not possess elite genetics or extreme wealth, the door of raw desire is permanently shut in your face. Let me tell you something directly, man to man. That is a cop-out. It is a victim mentality born from a fundamental ignorance of female attraction psychology. Women do not operate on mechanical formulas of surface-level perfection. They operate on deeply ingrained psychological mechanisms that have governed human survival for hundreds of thousands of years. In this video, I am not going to give you superficial pickup lines or cheap manipulation tactics. We are going to deconstruct the cold, biological architecture of desire. You will learn the exact evolutionary maps that dictate who a woman craves, why total safety is the ultimate graveyard of attraction, and how to stop begging for validation so you can build an unshakable, high-value presence. But you must listen carefully. Pay close attention until the 10:40 mark. At that exact timestamp, I am going to expose a massive behavioral error that 93% of men commit blindly, a single mistake that instantly paralyzes a woman's imagination and kills her attraction on the spot. I will show you the exact framework to reverse it before this day ends. Why does total devotion consistently breed romantic indifference? To understand this, we must separate two distinct emotional universes, affection and desire. Affection is built on security, predictability, and absolute certainty. It is the comfortable knowledge that you will be there tomorrow, exactly as you were yesterday. Desire, however, requires entirely different fuel. Desire breathes in the air of the unknown, the unpredictable, and the scarce. When you eliminate all friction, you eliminate all attraction. Modern dating advice fails because it ignores basic behavioral science. Let us look at the classic work of psychologist B.F. Skinner on variable ratio reinforcement. In his experiments, when an organism received a reward 100% of the time a button was pressed, its dopamine levels remained flat. The reward became predictable, mundane, and uninteresting. But when the reward was made entirely unpredictable, delivered randomly, with no guaranteed pattern, the subject's brain flooded with dopamine. It became hyper-focused, intensely motivated, and utterly obsessed. This is the bedrock of the evolutionary psychology of desire. When you become completely transparent, text constantly, and make yourself endlessly available, you cause a dopaminergic crash in her mind. You become a solved puzzle. Another viewer, named Space Ted, recently commented that relationships are a complete waste of time. I get the frustration, brother. But relationships only feel like a waste of time when you play the game without understanding the rules of evolution. You are trying to use logical compliance to solve a subconscious biological equation. It will never work. But be warned, if uncertainty possesses such massive psychological power, why does weaponizing this absence through calculated mind games usually turn you into a complete laughingstock? The internet is flooded with dating gurus telling you to artificially wait 2 hours before replying to a text, or to fabricate fake plans to look busy. Let us cut through the noise. This is low-value behavior wrapped in a desperate script. Women possess an incredibly sophisticated evolutionary radar for social dynamics. They can smell artificial withholding, from a mile away. When you play hard to get in a calculated manner, your actions do not communicate strength. They communicate a profound fear of rejection. It shows you are reactive, that you are modulating your natural behavior just to elicit a response from her. The moment she detects the strategy, your perceived value plummets to zero. A viewer named Joseph reached out, asking how long a woman can play hard to get before the dynamic collapses. The answer is simple. Any game has a strict expiration date. When scarcity is faked, it breeds resentment and fatigue. The legendary psychotherapist Esther Perel eloquently noted that love enjoys knowing everything, but desire needs a mystery. However, Perel emphasized that this mystery cannot be forced through artificial walls. It must stem from actual individual sovereignty. High-value men do not play hard to get. They are hard to get. There is an ocean of difference between the two. If you find yourself trapped in this loop of digital over-availability and cheap tactics, stop. Take a breath. We have developed a comprehensive, no-fluff guide called the Free Attraction and Boundary Blueprint, linked in the description below. It contains 0 manipulative tricks. Instead, it provides a solid, stoic framework to help you ruthlessly audit your life and re-establish your core value. Download it when this video ends and reclaim your frame. Now, let us venture into the most critical psychological territory of all. Why does the modern urge to overshare completely paralyze her pursuit? We live in an era of hyperconnectivity where men are told that constant emotional unloading is the key to intimacy. While honest communication has its place, over-communication destroys attraction. When you reveal every fleeting thought, explain every minor emotion, and report your daily schedule step by step, you leave absolutely no room for her imagination to work. And remember this: the human brain is wired to complete incomplete information. When given an ambiguous fragment, the mind naturally activates. It creates hypotheses, revisits the memory, and ponders the possibilities. That exact mental activity, the time she spends wondering where you are, what you are doing, and who you are with, is the psychological state known as attraction. This brings us to the critical 10-40 threshold I warned you about. The single most catastrophic error a man can make is turning a woman into the absolute center of his universe. The moment you abandon your personal axis to constantly seek her approval, her brain receives a subtle, subconscious signal. This man has no kingdom of his own to rule. His value is lower than mine. The moment she realizes there is nothing left to discover, the hunt ends. The imagination shuts down, and you are filed away into the friend zone. Look at the viewers who have truly woken up to this reality, like Woodbutcher and Amin. They commented that after watching this analysis, they realized they needed to stop obsessing over relationships, protect their inner peace, and return to their abandoned personal projects. That is what I call emotional gravity. True strength means you do not alter your orbit to chase a satellite. You build a mass so dense, an identity so solid, that others are naturally drawn into your field. How do you stop being a wandering satellite and establish your own unshakable gravity? You must transition from hollow theory into direct masculine application through a strict 3-step framework. First, establish non-negotiable boundaries. Look at your calendar right now. If you are willing to cancel a gym session, abandon a business project, or ditch your closest friends the moment she calls, you are broadcasting a lack of self-respect. Define your core pillars, your career, your physical health, your purpose, and make them completely non-negotiable. Second, communicate with calm firmness. When a boundary is crossed or a plan is disrupted, do not throw an emotional tantrum. Emotional reactivity is a sign of weakness. Simply say no or state your boundaries clearly, calmly, and without a lengthy justification. A man who can hold a silent, unshakable boundary communicates immense emotional autonomy. Third, cultivate authentic scarcity. You cannot fake a busy life. You must build one. Pour your focus into masteries, skills, and ventures that demand your physical and mental presence. When your time becomes genuinely scarce because you are building a legacy, every minute she spends with you feels like an earned privilege, not a cheap commodity. Understand this deeply. Desire cannot be negotiated, bribed, or bought with absolute devotion. It is the natural consequence of a life constructed on a foundation of self-respect, clear boundaries, and stoic purpose. If this message jarred you out of complacency, look down at the comment section right now. Type the words, "I made it," to prove you have the focus to finish what you start, and I will personally engage with you. But understanding the evolutionary triggers of desire is only half the battle. You can build an incredible life, but if you continue to make 3 specific behavioral blunders in your daily interactions, you are quietly sabotaging the very frame you are trying to build. To identify these hidden traps and eliminate them permanently, click on the video appearing on your screen right now. Stop doing these 3 things if you want her to truly fall in love. Move forward, fix the leaks, and I will see you there.